mind that hypothetical simulated performance have certain restrictions and limitations, and do not use money you cannot afford to lose. Use FTMOs or somebody else's. All right, let's get to it. Happy to be here. Okay, welcome back. We are done with the third quarter. Quarter four is 2 weeks old. We're plus 12 days behind us, 75 days in front of us. And that's about it. It's going fast, man. We'll be in 2023 before you know it. All right, let's look at the calendar, see what we got. All right, we are sitting on the 12th of October. Okay, 1 week of the quarter is down. You got 2 weeks left for the first 1/3 of the quarter, right? So what you need to do is you need to check yourself at the end of this month, right? Right on this weekend, going into Friday on the 28th, you need to take inventory of your 4-week run, see where you're at. All right, after that, readjust, make some changes, and then carry that into November, right? This is 2 of 3 and 3 of 3. And that's it. That'll be the end of the year. So map this out a little bit, make some plans, figure out what you're doing. If you're doing homework, do homework based on that. If you're doing anything different, if you're actually trading, figure out how this all plays and fits together for you with the rest of the year. You got to take action. Got to make things happen, okay? We know we're going to lose this week here for Thanksgiving, more or less, right? People start Thanksgiving on Wednesday, but for the majority of people, they take off. They're in holiday mode. And then you're running this up until probably the last Friday right here. I think that's when we'll take our break, and we'll be off 2 weeks here and a couple days in January till we get back. That's it. That's going to be a wrap, man, for 2022. We're rolling into 23. So what's your situation? If you're trading and making money right now, then I'm not talking to you. But if you're struggling, you haven't done any homework, you're looking forward to getting into 2023 and get started, then you need to map out. If you're planning 2023 and what's going to happen, you got to start that shit now. It has to happen right now. You understand? You have to map out for the next quarter now. You have to start putting a plan into motion to carry you through the holidays and get you into the first of the year and get you going. There's a lot of great stuff going on in the business, and there's also a lot of complaining and people mad at me after the last couple of weeks of DMR. And I'm going to try to clear it up as best as I can tonight, what's going on. All right, so I need your fourth quarter projections. We used the 12-week year book by Brian Moran. It's a salesy book, but the concept is powerful. It's taking every quarter aggressively like it's an entire year's time, or like it's December where you start feeling, oh my God, the year's almost over, I got to do something. This book takes that feeling that people have in November and December and try to have higher sales goals or try to do something before the year's up. It takes that feeling and is supposed to transpose it onto every single quarter of the year. You're living every 12 weeks aggressively like it's November, December. So you need to map out some possibilities for what's left, keeping in mind the holidays and working days left. We just went over that, but you need to do it for yourself. All right, this is the 12-week year field guide. It's for sale on Amazon or whatever, or directly from Brian, but you may or may not need this. This basically gives you like the layout of like your goals and dreams for the quarter and how you should map them out. But there's a spreadsheet in the forum that talks about this, but you just need some kind of framework. You got to have something to lean on, right? I talk about leaning on stuff in charts. You need something to lean on in your plan and what you're going to do. So if you're going to map out, okay, the first, if you're brand new, I'm going to do homework for the first 30 days of the quarter. I'm going to do demo executions for the next 30 days of the quarter, and then I'm going to start live trading on the third part of the quarter. That's respectable. You can make that happen by the end of the year, and then you can roll into 2023 in January and start trying to qualify for some money. You got no business paying a qualifying account if you can't do that shit in demo. And from what I understand, they give free demo accounts to try by their rules. So anyway, that's the plan. All right, so what I want to do is I want to follow up to the stuff that was emailed to me, and we'll talk about business planning and some nasty emails I got. And I want to talk about the high-low drill follow-up. There's a couple people that did it and started seeing some results right away. Okay, so here we go. Every business in this country has a plan, so what's your freaking problem? Why won't you do it? I don't understand the holdup. I'm telling you what it takes to be successful, and you just don't want to do it. Man, it's drives me crazy. You know, uh, when I was being trained a long time ago now, I tried that shit one time, right? I was in a unique situation in that I could not move to the next lesson until I submitted my homework. I was in like a private mentorship with a couple other guys. So I tried that shit. I told him, dog ate my homework. I missed the FedEx. I told him I missed the FedEx cutoff to mail it to you. And he said, see you next week. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? What? Yeah, I told you to do the work and get it to me on time, and you didn't do it. So we're not moving forward today. And I've told you the story 100 times, but that I was like, oh shit, I ain't doing that again. I'm not trying that again, right? But the thing is, we're in a bigger group, right? It's not private, and I can't hold people accountable to the level where I punish the people doing the work and just not have a lesson. So there was some power in that for me to make me do the work. I didn't try that shit again, by the way. That was the one and only time I ever tried it. And basically, I didn't feel like marking up charts and sending it to them. Right? It was like everybody else. I don't want to do that shit. But you know what? I got my ass in gear after that because I laid out a lot of money, like all of you did to be here. And some are taking full advantage of that, and some are just bitching and complaining, man. Pardon my French. All right, so look, I understand it's a frustrating business when you see all this money flying around. Wait till I show you the next thing I got this week. You guys are going to be sick, man. So freaking proud of this guy. All right, so here's the thing, man. And listen, you're in a digital world right now. You can't BS me. You can't. All right, just like I couldn't BS that dude with the FedEx cutoff, you guys can't BS me on the stuff you've done. Okay? The main complainants, the people that were really hard on me this week, I checked their footprint, I checked the shit they submitted to me. It's virtually zero. Okay, so if you know who you are, if you got some shit you want to send me that you did, or you want to prove your argument, send it, man. But the thing is that you don't learn the business by trading. That's the rub. You don't learn the business by trading. You learn the business by homeworking past trades and looking at stuff. Some people told me they work too many hours. Okay, guess what? There's Saturday and Sunday, and there's market replay. Okay, you can go back and run the bars and fast forward, and there's WSM Viewer. Respect to Jim. Okay, so listen, you can go through the setups for the week by using WSM Viewer, and you can play bar by bar, or you can play full market replay. So what you would do is to save time, speed up until you get into the area of a setup, and then slow it down to real time and let it develop, and then speed it up and see if it works out. There's too many tools now. I didn't have this shit. I used to literally, you guys are going to laugh. I used to have that dot matrix printer with the tractor feed strips on the side. And I had to do that shit, print it out. And it was like black and white. Color was expensive back then. And I was poor or normal, whatever. I don't know. I was a firefighter. I don't know if that's lower middle class. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's what I was. And that was my budget that I had to work with. So it's too easy now, man. You have all this stuff available to you. There was no market replay back then. There was print out a chart and get a pencil and mark it up. And I use pencil because I made mistakes, so I want to erase it and go back over it after I looked at it. You know what I mean? There's no excuse for this kind of stuff anymore. It's just, I'm sorry, but it's reality. All right? So the people that did the most complaining have the least amount of submissions. What does that tell you? That they're waiting for somebody else to do something. They thought because they paid their tuition that was going to be the end of it. It doesn't work like that. I'm handing you the keys to the city. I'm pouring every bit of knowledge I have from my experience with this guy to the last 15, 18 years in the business. 23 total, right? Maybe 10 teaching, 11 teaching. I don't even know. It goes by so fast. I'm old now. You guys see my profile pictures, I was young. I'm not a young man anymore. I'm pushing 60, man. But I have a lot of experience in the business. And I'm trying to share that knowledge with you. This is my legacy. You guys are my legacy, man. And I'm proud of it. But the ones that complain and give me a bunch of shit, I'm mad at you guys. Do something, man. Make a move. All right. So what should your business plan look like? You need to have pairs traded, and I've said this, less is more. 2 pairs, 4 pairs max, 1 pair is ideal. Focus on pound dollar or euro. That's it. You got to consider the cost of doing business, the spread and commissions, right? Spread, Mexican peso, a quadrillion. Don't trade something that takes forever to clear the spread. You need to be in profit immediately, 1 or 2 pips max, and maybe at news times 2.5. Pay attention to that stuff. It matters, right? You need at least 3 charts for each instrument. That's called a profile, right? So you need, if you're trading daily, you need a 1 hour, a 15-minute, a 1 minute, or a 5 minute for execution. Not necessary to have both, just one. Okay? If you're trading swing or longer setups, remove the lowest time frame and add the 4 hour. So if you're trading a 5 minute or 1 minute, ditch these, and then use your 15-minute for execution, 1 hour, and 4 hour would be your directionals. Okay, simple. Okay, now next thing, once you get the trade off, close the lowest time frame. What do you need it for? Don't look at the lowest time frame. It'll shake you out, man. So if you're trading intraday, monitor on the 15-minute, and this is less likely to shake you out. You watch those 5 minute, 1 minute candles, man, you'll see M's and W's and V's, and you'll be like freaking yourself out. It's not necessary, right? If you're trading swing, drop the 15-minute, use the 1 hour, and just watch how the 1 hour candles close. The goal in every single execution is to get the stops to break even and leave it alone. Let the math work itself out. Okay, and don't be afraid. I've talked about this before. Don't be afraid to move the stop in the negative space. People don't do this. They don't understand it. And I've been called names for this, but it's a simple thing to do, and it means a lot. Here's the deal. Okay, here's 0. Here's negative space minus, I don't know, let's just call it 20 for argument's sake. And this is plus 50 over here, right? Okay, so what am I talking about? Your stop is here, you execute the trade, you're in. The trade moves up 20 pips, whatever the number is, and you don't want to move to break even yet because of pullbacks. So you go from minus 20 to minus 10, and what happens? If this is a 2% risk here, when the trade is plus 20, some people say to take some money off. Okay, you take money off on the negative side and leave the trade alone. So you want to cut your risk, move the stop to minus 10, and that cuts you down to 1% risk at plus 20, but you still have all the lots in place to go to 50. Instead of taking off, let's say you're a 3-lot trader, you take one off at 20. All right, so now you got 2 lots. Okay, what did that do? It essentially cut your risk down to some number, right? If it was 3, it would have to be 1.5 lots off at 20 to cut your risk down to 1%. But then when it goes to 50, you're only going to get paid out on 1.5 lots. If you cut your risk in the negative space down to 1%, it's the same thing as taking off lots, but it allows you the benefit of the full 50 pip swing. You understand? There's been several models in that trading book that we read together, Trading in the Zone. He used to take some off at 10, and he said that went a long way to covering his costs. Okay, so with this, cutting 1% on the backside would also go a long way to covering your losses because you're not risking the full 2%. So every trade that gets stopped, you save 1%. If you get stopped out 10 times, you save 10%. You understand? You cannot be afraid to get stopped out in this business. It's part of it. You have to figure out how to get your head around the idea. It's a business expense. It's whatever you want to call it. I've said so many different versions of this, but I'm trying to get you guys motivated for the end of the year to hit the ground running in 2023. Okay? What hours are you going to be in the office? What do you have to consider for that? Okay, you need to trade between the session box times. This is the highest opportunity from shadow to shadow. Okay, so showing up at in the middle of the blue box, man, that's not ideal. You need to be in the shadow boxes from shadow to shadow. This is the highest opportunity. Are there trades that go off at 1 a.m. and 2 a.m.? Yes, there are. But the highest opportunity is between the shadows. The shadows are the start, right? London session gap going into the open, and the close of US, right? Close going into the open. Okay, if you want to put in more hours and have that available, you can show up end of Asia, which is what I do, and you can trade it into the red shadow box, right? The red box is right after the shadow into the US session. I call that whole thing red because I need to go to bed. That's it. See red, go to bed. For me, that works for me. Okay. And you know, it's one of those things, man. I perfected this stuff over the years. I haven't changed. This is the same exact shit I've been doing since 20 years or whatever. Okay, does that make sense? If you find something that works, you refine it, you don't change it. The office hours are the office hours. Okay, if you don't have the availability in your time, then and you can only show up at a certain time. I know there's people that take naps and get up, then you need to trade from this shadow open to about mid-session, right? Because you know going into the US session, pair will make a move and then it'll go sideways, right? It might make 2 pushes and go sideways and then it'll pull back and continue or reverse. That's it. So this happens, right? Going in, you get the stop hunt high. It sets up something going into here, pulls back, and then gets quiet after mid-session, right? That's the lunch break going into the US session, whatever it is, based on London time, all right? You need to have a couple of trades, 2 to be exact, all right? But you can have more than 2. You need your signature trade plus a backup entry. I'm going to tell you exactly what they need to be if you're struggling. This is for you, man. Your signature trade plus a backup entry should be this and nothing else. An M&W reversal or an Apex Nader retest, right? These are the same thing. I'll draw them out for you. And then an intraday 50 bounce continuation. If you want to know about intraday bounces, talk to Carr. He's the master. That's his deal. This is his signature trade. Okay? If you're successful, then you can take some variations of this. And that's it. You can take a typical M. You could take an Apex Nader retest, and then you could take a bounce or a secondary bounce. Okay, but if you're struggling right now and you don't have anything for me and you got no signature, no digital footprint, this is for you right here. Don't look at this bullshit right here. Just look at this. Okay, and what does that look like? Okay, we know what a typical M&W is, right? Auction fails to take out the high, right? We know what the retest looks like here. And then we know that by the time this gets going, the averages start curving over and you're looking for a test here down. That's it. This would be your window of operation. So you need to be here, end of Asia, going into the open for London, and you're looking for this and this only, right? This is a very powerful trade. You get the stops really tight. If you catch the high of the day really close, you can get your stop in there pretty good as well. And then a bounce trade continuation, 50 crossover. It's another good trade. And you got the measured move from here to here to give you a possible target. If you're struggling with 50 pips, go for 30 right now. If you're mastering 30, then bump it up to try to take 40 or 50. 30 is okay if you keep the stop under control and do the math. You can use a 10 pip stop. Even a 15 pip stop will give you a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. All right, RVR. That's what you need. Okay, it's simple, but yet it's not being done. So business plan people, you know who you are, man. You shredded me this week in the email, I'm shredding you back, man. Send me something. Okay, I'm not mad at anybody. I feel you, man. It's frustrating, and I understand you see people making money and posting their stuff, and you're like, you feel like you're getting left behind. The problem is you're leaving yourself behind. I've been saying the same thing, spewing this stuff for 11, 12 years. Nothing has changed in the business, right? I'd say this last week. Go back and look at Jim's chart from 1875. Ask him for it. Perfect Wellington W right in the bond market. How is that possible? How is that possible that they printed a perfect W on a chart hundreds of years ago? Doesn't make any sense. Well, yes, it does, because human behavior and nature has not changed ever. People are afraid of losing money, fear, greed, all those things. Those are what creates these patterns. So you're leaning on something pretty strong and pretty powerful. All right, I mentioned here, I crossed it out, harmonic triggers. Okay, if some of you guys are swing trading, some of you guys using these are fantastic little triggers, but you got to retrofit them. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let me clear the slate here. Okay, you get a, I don't know, what do I call it? Half a bat butterfly. Don't make fun of my drawing, man. I suck at this stuff. I failed art, by the way. All right, so you get your butterfly. So you have the zone right here. Price hits it, you get the alert on your thing. Okay, you walk up to this, you go, okay, what do I got? Okay, first of all, you're looking to see what day you are in the cycle, right? These work out really good on an extended run or some type of run where price starts going vertical. But what you want to look for is you want to look for 3 pushes into this area. That's what I mean by retrofitting. Go backwards and go, okay, there's 3 levels in there. If you're trading swing trading and it's been a couple of days, like this, if it's Monday and this shit started last Wednesday, okay, so you got 3 days of rise and you got 3 levels, right? On the last part of it, you're looking for a 333, an aggressive move. Then you need some type of fade off of the top that the top holds, right? Or a spike above and a fallback below. Then you execute in here somewhere. Retrofit the harmonic. Harmonics, all they are is Fibonacci numbers and some type of pattern where it's an aggressive move. That's not enough to take a trade. You need the signal and you need the retrofit that if you got 3 levels in there, reversal. If it's intraday, then you need 3 pushes, maybe a 333. And always remember something, man. The last leg, level 3, is vertical. It's almost always vertical, right? It goes like that. It turns straight up. Look for vertical market and then look for the reversal, right? It could be 1 bar on a 1-hour chart. It could be a huge spike, right? Right? And everything else is like this. And then all of a sudden you get this huge vertical market. And the same thing for shorts. Aren't you proud of me? Well, I did draw a short. I drew up for long. You know how I do. Okay, look. You would take the wick area, box it in, and then you would get this M formation in here. You might get a spike above, close back in, hammer, railroad tracks, some type of pattern to give you that reversal. And then you can lean in here, get the continuation here, and you got a couple opportunities on that. So you're looking for time of day, right? Vertical markets into some type of pattern reversal. This pattern by itself is not enough. You have to retrofit to make it work. All right, make sense? All right, you ready? All you haters, here you go. Can't wait for the email. Congratulations to this guy, man. This is his profit share for October. 6 figures, man. It's amazing. We're looking at about what? 26,500 a week for the last 4 weeks. It's absolutely amazing. Couldn't be more proud. Unbelievable. And he went on to tell me that he is managing 7 figures now. He's qualified for multiple accounts and he's handling $1 million. Think about this for a minute. He took a couple $1,000 that would have been in his account and he made, if he's handling $1 million, he made 10%. If he would have made 10% on $10,000, it would have been $1,000. He took his $10,000, he invested in himself and his belief, and he signed up for one of these plans and he absolutely exploded it. I blacked out his name because I know you guys are going to attack him. Maybe some of you already know who this is. And I also blacked out his QR code so you can't just look him up. So here's the deal. Couldn't be more proud of you, bro. But don't let people weigh you down and ask you what you did different. I know you did the same shit that I've been teaching. I've seen your homework. This guy's got a pretty good footprint. He's done the work, man. So there's that. Okay, so after showing you this, you know the next thing is, all right, what's going on with homework? Okay, so here. So this guy wrote, he's been stuck with the drills. He hasn't turned into money. I showed you how to aggregate last week. How many of you did that? I got one guy sent me some love, and he's doing it. All right, so I don't know, fell on deaf ears, or everyone's making $1 million a week or $100,000 a month on their take, and they don't need it. Okay, got this email follow up. Right, a few days back there was your session on the high-low drill, and I haven't done the high-low drill in my entire life. Okay, his entire life here. He's been here a while, and when I did, I started to see massive improvements. He called EU today for a 40 pip move. Okay, you mentioned the DMR about the swing level sheets. That ship sailed, man. That's over. No one's getting that. Do the work. JR, I think you have it. Do not give it out. And when I say he did it for himself. It's your own personal assignment. It's not anyone else's to give. I tried that, and I understand why no one accepted it, because it didn't mean anything to you. I don't want to get into a whole thing about it, but if you want those levels, pick your pair. If you're doing EU, do the work on EU. So anyway, look, this guy's been around a while. He never did the drill. Well, he didn't have time for it, too busy trading. Okay, if you do the drill, you'll be busy trading and making money, not busy trying to figure it out. But the problem is, I don't understand what's so hard about the drill. Just do it. Do it on market replay on the weekend. Do it bar by bar. Figure out some way that you could fit this into your schedule for a couple hours a week. I did this drill 20 years ago, and it was life-changing, man. Absolutely life-changing. And don't forget, I did it with a notebook, pad, and paper. There was no blue box and shadow boxes. I said, man, there's got to be a better way. The guy that taught me was older, and he just looked at the board. You guys know this story. I've told you 100 times. The blue boxes and the stop hunt zones, that's shit that came from all the math in my notebook, drawing numbers and crossing through them. I used to burn through like a notebook a week because I'm like, I don't know, I write very sloppy, and I can't even make heads or tails of my own shit when I go back. So I would just use a page, flip it, cross it out, flip it. That's how I used to burn through notebooks. So anyway, listen, the high-low drill is legit. You got to do it. If you're struggling, this is the first thing you got to do. If you've been with me a while and you're struggling and you were on that hate sheet that you wrote me this week, do the drill, man, and I'll shut my mouth. Send me this drill, and I'll get you to the next level. All right? So some other people sent me in some stuff from FTMO. Proud to see it. No names, man. So check this guy out. This was pretty cool. So he had 12 trades, and his average profit was $3,300. He was up 10,000 on the account, and his average risk to reward, look at that, was 18,000 bucks. Pretty cool. His profit factor was 6,000. It's pretty great. So I was like, wait a minute, 12 trades, how do you get such a high number? Well, look at his losses, man. His average loss was 18 cents. That's pretty freaking great. So anyway, his win rate, look at his win rate. His win rate was, this is the stuff that I love. His win rate was 25%. What does that mean? That means that he hit on 2.5 trades out of 10, right? 2.5 out of 10. Okay, but he had such a low loss compared to his wins that all the other numbers were through the roof. And he made 10 grand. Okay, his next push through, he got his equity up to 20,900 and things normalized out. Double the trades, 25. Win rate was 52%, but his average loss was more in line realistically, right? His risk to reward is 2.5, 2.5, right? So lose 1,000, make around 2,500. Perfect. Profit factor 2.98. These are solid numbers, man. Lots, this is irrelevant because if you're taking 10 lot trades or whatever you're taking. Okay, win rate 52%. It's half. 5 out of 10. 5.2 out of 10 to be exact. So out of 100 trades, he hit 52 trades. It's not bad. Okay, but this is the thing. You don't have to be right. You have to be rich. That's the business. It's not about being right. Cut your losers quick and have like a 12 cents loss, or at least 2 to 1, and take your profits. Let it run, man. That's the business. That's the struggle. That's the rub. People don't want to be wrong. And I know that's why you don't want to send me stuff, but I'm telling you, I don't care if you're right. I care if you're rich. That's the point. You need to have, man, you could have, if you have a very low loss level, you could have a 25% win rate. Is that frustrating? Yeah. To win two trades out of 10 is probably frustrating. I'd like to see you at least have 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 60%, 70%. But that comes with time. But how are you going to feed your family in the meantime if you're so worried about being right that you're not making money? Don't worry about being right, worry about being rich. And people in this group are rich and getting richer. Get involved, man. It's the end of the year. This is like the end of the year lecture. You're in the last quarter, a couple of months. What is it, October? We're going to have Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It's over. You know how that goes. Anyone that's lived through these holidays or has kids knows how fast this shit goes by. As soon as Halloween hits, you're into Thanksgiving, Christmas, and it's done. And then we're moving into 2023. Don't get left behind. Send me something, man. Send me something besides complaints and bitching and moaning about me. All right? I'm counting on you guys. All right, couple other submissions. This is stuff I normally get. Just look, 5 trades, 3 wins, 2 losses. What is that? 60%, 66%? Okay, is that awful? No, he netted 101 pips. If he was trading 20 lots of trade, that's some serious cash, man. It's bankable money. I'm listen, I'm not trying to make anybody mad or aggravated. I'm trying to get you motivated. I don't understand. I don't know. I've like, I'm hurt, man. My feelings are hurt. You guys put this shit on me and asking me for stuff that's impossible because you haven't done anything. So, this is the typical, my response to all that hate this week. All right, so looking at these charts, what do you think? Can you see strings on there? Some good trades in here. All right, so he's got his counts going into level 3, right? He got execution here. This is perfect. Look at the flip right here. You see that? Okay, he got a nice flip, came back, executed into profit right there. Perfect. Okay, so what do you got? You got a bottom, breakout high, right? Looks like it's going to be a reversal, pulls back, throws a W into profit back towards the high. So how could you trade this? First of all, he got his limit, which is fine. But if you're looking at this, okay, here it is, Asia, right? Aggressive move towards the end of the session. Stop hunt high. Here's yesterday's tracer. Look at the stuff you lean on. Okay, that's a good target right there, especially since they broke it and came back below. The anticipated move is some type of structure this way, right? There's only 2 things they could do. Let me be clear. You got your box high, you draw it here, you got your box low. Okay, they have to do something. They have to trade into here, correct, retest and drop, or they have to get above this and go higher. That's it. That's the move. Okay, he grabbed the edge, perfect, and he traded it into blue tracer. Perfect place to limit. If he hung around, he could have got the pullback, right? It would have been more like this. Trade it down, back down to this box, and then break below, or break above and look for other levels. That's it. It's not rocket science, man. You just have to get some time on the screen and do it. Okay, 2 losses for 37. It's decent. Just make it 40 divided by 2, about a 20 pip per trade loss, and 101 net pips. That's some serious stats. 5 trades for 100 pips. Okay, what's his average trade? Take the 2 losses out. 138 divided by 3. All right, 150 would be 50 pips a trade, 40 and change. 4 times what, 35 roughly? Okay, figure it out, man. But it's just math. This is not rocket science, man. This is not rocket science. It's the same shit, right? Look, you draw a box, you draw a box. Now here you're sitting. Price comes into the low, right? The box comes off somewhere over here, comes into the low, breaks it, pulls back, goes above. Right here where you drew the box. Top of Asia, breaks below it, hits the stops, rises. Same thing, draw a box, where's it going next? It comes to settle in, draw a box, draw a box. Now, what am I leaning on? Looking for AR mid, looking for AR high, break above the blue tracer, pull back into. Start looking for these little things. TDI, shark fin high, hold the Mayo. That's the kind of stuff you need to lean on. You always need something to lean on. Always be leaning. Always be learning. All right. Another trade. See what we got. All right. Anybody want to comment? Okay. He got stopped here, right? Okay. Here's his sell side tracer right here. He could have went back in when this flipped, right? He had 1, 2. Maybe counted this as a push. He had 1, 2, 3 to the high. Pulled back below. This would be the flip right here. And then you get this. You would sell into this right here. Have it, right? Level high. Coming off these pins. Across. You start noticing. Send these little zones out into the future. Blue tracer. Take these levels out into the future and go back and look how they interact. Okay, this level is the same. Look, take it out into the future. All three of these, top of Asia, right? Flipped high, higher. Flipped high, pull back, higher. This is not a clear M structure. There's a lot of consolidation there. These vertical towards the end. Vertical market towards the end. Okay. Look over on this side. He has level 3 marked, right? He gets the reversal. He sold too soon, that's all. He sold in the blue tracer. I could see why he did that. It's no problem. But he should have waited for a shadow in session right here. Looking for the shadow in session. The shadow, right? Asia runs it up vertical. London operator comes on, reverses on you, right? You're looking for a flip somewhere, or you're selling the high. Okay, good stuff. All right, I'm going to skip this, get through a couple more charts, and wrap it up. Oh, what did I want to draw? I forgot. All right, let's see. I think this is the one I just did. Nope, similar type of trade. Okay, I think this was the last chart I had. I had some other stuff that, after all that's happened this week, is dated now. I'm going to go back over it. All right, so yesterday's high, swing high. Okay, he traded out of Asia into the stop hunt move and then the reversal, right? Perfect. He got it long right here. Okay, so he got, okay, look, shoulder, head, shoulder, or he labeled it as a W. That's correct, right? Came above, tapped in, took out the level high, pulled back right on the Mayo. Okay, look at TDI right here, bouncing off the market baseline. If you're still looking at that, he got his grab, straight to profit, pinned high. Perfect place to get out, right into the tracer, man. Perfect. This is absolute. I'm glad one of us was a good execution. All this is good. Everything's good about this. All right, so shoulder, head, shoulder, W formation, flip the book right here. They flip above this, look. They flip the book above this, take out the level, right? Levels. Take out the level, tap back into the level, explode up, vertical, into level 3, right? Level 3 behavior, vertical market, pull back aggressively. You had another opportunity to go short here, but you didn't get a clean M formation. That's fine. So you would have to take this below here in session, right? There's the shadow. So this action formed out this big M and gave you, right, hit the stops above, slightly above the tracer. That's beautiful. That's a good reversal, and that's a good place to exit longs. All right, man, 40 minutes. I'm going to end it here. So here's the deal. I'm not mad at anybody, but it seems like you guys are a little frustrated with me. So what I'd like to do is, I'm going to say it again. Send me something, okay? I know it's frustrating to see people knocking down 6 figures a month. It is, but it's reality in the business. There's people doing 7 figures a month. You have to figure out how to get on a path to get yourself in the right direction. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. It's unprecedented, man. I borrowed $3,000 off a credit card, which was a lot of money to me, making 50 grand a year. It was like a month's pay, month's bring home. You don't have to do that anymore, man. I could have took the same $3,000 and took a challenge, and I would have bypassed a lot of the crap I had to go through. You have that opportunity in front of you. Okay? You guys know, beginning of the year, I wasn't on board with this shit. I didn't know what they were doing. You know, I felt like they were maybe running stops and getting traders to pay unnecessarily, but like everything else, it stood the test of time. Everyone says that FTMO seems the best place to be. I am not affiliate. I'm not giving you a link. I don't do shit like that. Make your own decision. There's a place called E8 that I know there's a couple people in the group doing, and they have good size accounts. Find the best opportunity for your budget and for yourself. And listen, if you don't have the money for a $200,000 account, start with a 50. Do the cheapest measure. 10% of 50,000 is going to be better than 10% of 5,000 or 3,000 or whatever number you have to start with. Run that, whatever account you can afford, run that account through the roof, do what you can do, take that money and parlay it into a $200,000 account or multiple accounts. Okay, $1 million under management. Pretty sure he's the first guy in the group to hit the 7-figure management. So now, 10% a week, 10% a month, you know those numbers are doable. You know 1,000% is doable. 1,000% is 250% return weekly. Okay? Somewhere in all of this is your spot. I'm talking to each one of you. Your spot is here. You got to find it. Whatever that is, you got to find it. If it's making 10% a month, then you should try to get a larger account, make 10% a month on that number. If it's making 10% a day or 10% a week, it doesn't matter. You got to find your spot and you got to make it happen. That's what I'm here for. It's funny is that the people that have done the least amount of work do the most complaining, and I just can't figure it out. So yes, I'm a little frustrated, but listen, I love every one of you, man. I love this group. I'm so proud of what's going on in here. And it's like I said before, it's my legacy and it's happening big for a lot of people. And you have no idea how touched I am that I'm turning people into big earners in the business. It means a lot to me. Who's the next one in the group? Good night.